How's it going, guys? Coffee here. Today I wanted to talk about dream crafting. Dream crafting did receive a significant buff at this league with the adjustments that they made to the modifiers that are available on shallow dream talking, as well as the modifiers on profound dream talking. So profound dream talking is going to be quite a bit more expensive than the shallow dream talking, which is the main stuff I'm going to go over in this league. And the profound dream talking you can only do a maximum of 6 times per item before you're basically locked out. You get 6 attempts to try to hit what you're trying to hit, and then you're going to be locked out. You can see with shallow dream talking here, you're going to be paying about 10 FE per click, which still is not necessarily the cheapest, but it's not that expensive either. Let's go ahead and we'll just basically buy some of these to kind of showcase for the video. So, for example, the main things that you can do with dream crafting, if we go over to this vendor here, Patty. So with dream interpretation, if you see, I'm going to put these gloves in here. The same gloves that I crafted for the, how to make a cheaper pair of these +2 gloves that I have over here. We're going to do the same thing, and we're going to showcase this with these Elder Sage's gloves here. So if we were to look at this profound dream talking, the one that I was talking about that is more expensive, that costs 80 FE per click, but can be done a maximum of 6 times. You see the readability here. It does show this. If you look at the potential options that you have here, for the deep dream, you can get new implicits available for the item. Some items are much better than others. The main ones you'll see people going for are like different implicits on rings. So if you look at these ones for this ring, for example, there are ones where people are looking to get one to where they are actually looking to increase and get ones that have a curse on hit, for example. Or the main one that people are going for is actually getting this giant buff to the imbue buff effect. This is mainly used for builds that are playing on Anger Rayhan, for example, so they're getting a massive buff to their acuteness imbue, which a 200% imbue buff for acuteness imbue is giving you 40% more physical damage. So the options that you can get on these are going to be extremely strong, but again, these are quite expensive as well, right? With them being 80 FE a click, they do have a chance to, again, trigger some very, very strong effects here. You know, trigger fixate every time you critical strike. If you get that, that would be very nice. But again, you're paying a lot to do that. So you typically only do this on a very end game item. But for everything else and for the things that I mainly recommend these for is basically how to get extra T0 mods on an item for a very inexpensive amount. My recommendation is going to be, again, to use the shallow dream crafting and either just self-farm the materials or, again, just buy them with the changes that they did have to the league mechanic, where you can just get Nightmare 100% of the time. That's always a good way to just basically get your dream crafting materials. So if you see in the shallow dream, there isn't any of the special mods that you can get here. This just rerolls the affixes, but the ones that you can get here are mainly this one under confusing dream that you're really focusing on, which is basically if an affix here is higher than tier 2 or 3, then it will upgrade it by 1 tier. So basically what this is saying is if you have a mod that's already tier 1, then it will take that mod and buff it to T0. The way that this mod used to work prior to this league was it would look for a mod that was under tier 1. So you would need a mod that was specifically tier 2 in order to upgrade it to tier 1. So if you watch my dream crafting videos from any of the other leagues, we're going to talk about that, where you're cycling through and you're specifically trying to hit your tier 2 mods in order to push them to tier 0. But luckily with this, what you can do is, again, you can just use these to push mods that are at whatever tier up by a single tier. There are some other nice little things that you can do with dream crafting, specifically with level 60 items. Items that are level 60 or below are able to be used in dream crafting without actually using any materials. So that's really, really nice. But the main thing is basically, again, we would take a glove like this, which is not level 100. So no matter what, even if we wanted to, here we couldn't push any of these mods up to T0, right? Because as the item is not level 100, but we are going to be able to push an item to tier 100 or to T0 using dream crafting only. So if we actually go here to Patty, there are some other little tricks that we can do by only having this on 5 mods. Once the item is actually dream crafted, you can't actually change any of the mods anymore, but you can actually craft a mod on it still. So you can still enchant the item, but you can't do anything else to it. So when you are doing dream crafting, it's a good rule of thumb, if you can do it, is to have an item with only 5 slots on it, because one of the downsides that you can possibly hit with your dream crafting is to blemish one of the spots, right? So if the blemish would say were it to hit the crit damage, say it would hit slot 5, this critical strike damage would turn into a blemish and I couldn't do anything else with it. But if I roll it to where the blemish is on slot 6, where there isn't anything right now, it will not actually apply anything, and then I'll still be able to craft a mod on it. So best case scenario, when we're trying to click this, we are going for trying to increase the level of the spell damage or the gear energy shield here, and then we're hoping to hit a downside that's going to affect slot 6. So you can see here, we got this one here where it's like, okay, the affix is lower than 2 tier and it's going to upgrade it by 1 tier. This isn't the one we want. So the other good thing with the dream crafting is, again, it does show you exactly what mod is going to be affected by the change that you do. We're going to go ahead and just click abandon on this because we don't want it. Even if we do accept some sort of change, if you actually click this button over here, you can actually restore a piece of gear. So you can undo a dreamcraft that was done. So I can undo my dreamcraft that increased my movement speed here up to T0. It would cost me 10 of these. I don't actually want to do that, so we're not actually going to do it. But you can always undo a dreamcraft, so you don't need to worry about, you can't break your gear like this. You can do this as many times as you want. It's just costing you money in order to do it. So feel free to basically tinker around with things. You don't have to worry about things too much. So I did hit the other one, which would have been the old mod here. If it was lower than T2, upgrade it by 2 tiers. That's not the one we want, so we're going to go ahead and abandon this. And we're going to go ahead and try again. All of these are misses. We're going to abandon again. And then we're going to go through here. So this is the 5th mod. We don't want this. We want either mod 1 or mod 2. So we're going to go ahead and abandon. And we're just rolling until we hit the mod we're looking for. So we hit the number 1 mod, but it's looking for lower than tier 1, which we need it to be lower than tier 2. So sometimes you can get a little unlucky with these. A lot of the times when I'm clicking these, you'll hit it first try or here. So here's the one we wanted here, right? Number 1 affix is higher than tier 3, upgrade it by 1 tier. So this is exactly what we're looking for here. So this is going to show the 2 things that are going to be affected. The base affix is going to be overwritten, and then this prefix is going to be changed, right? So this upgraded this to tier 2. And then these are the options that we have, right? We can downgrade all the suffixes by 1 tier, downgrade all the prefixes by 1 tier, which is not what we want to do, or replace the number 1 affix with the blemish. Again, we wanted this to say number 6, but that's not what we got. So we're just going to downgrade the suffixes by 1 tier, and we're going to record this, and we're just going to take it. A lot of the times with the mods that you do have, you can have them to where they're already the lowest tier, so they can't be lowered any further, so that's always a good safe mod to hit as well. But in this case, we did lose a little bit of crit strike rating and crit damage, but on the bright side, again, we have our +2 now, and then we can still craft the, we can still enchant these as we were talking about before, because we still have that slot open. We can't do any other crafting on it, but we can enchant this with whatever we want, right? So if we want to enchant this with some res, we can go ahead and do that. So as you can see, this is basically a cheaper way to try to get some of the gloves. So if you look at the gloves that I'm wearing again here, these are, quite a bit more expensive just because they are going to be using here, right? If we're looking for a T2 spell, T2 gear energy shield, right? This is going to be like almost 1,000 FE alone just for these. Versus this one here, it's going to be very close to the same thing, right? And these are still 1,000 FE, but we only paid, maybe 60 or 70 FE to make these gloves. So you can do this. This is something you can always do to try to save yourself a bit of money. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below, and I'll be more than happy to help you. And other than that, see you in the next one.